Hey guys, it's Christmas 2021 and I've been stuck at home with the old coronavirus. I've been recovering and my quarantine has ended, but unfortunately I haven't been able to get out and go fishing, and maybe this week I'll be able to. But anyway, I wanted to do a recap video of my 4 best catches from 2021 and how I caught them. Maybe you'll learn a little bit and at least enjoy some good fishing. So happy Fishmas 2021. All right, my first fish is my personal best, rainbow trout out of Newcastle Reservoir. Caught this fish in February of 2021, early February, just after ice out. And I learned that ice out is a great time to catch big trout in these upper reservoirs, Newcastle or Enterprise, or if you go up to Panguitch and some of those other ones in the mountains. But the reason being is that when the water turns over, the oxygen goes to the surface and that forces the fish to the surface. So they're going to be shallow all over the lake. They might be out in the middle of the lake, but they will be shallow. And so that cuts down a lot of water you have to search through. And so I caught this massive girl on a dual hardcore shad, kind of like a flicker shad. Just trolling really slow behind the kayak, and man, she whacked it hard. And another thing I learned, of course, moving out west and fishing for trout, is you got to treat them a little bit more gentle than, say, your largemouth or smallmouth bass. So I've got a better net now, and I've learned to, well, try to be a little bit more gentle with them. They are a little bit more of a delicate fish with a weaker constitution than those other fish. So there she is, 23-inch rainbow trout. She's a beauty. And for my second favorite fish of this year, we're going to go to upper Sand Cove Reservoir, just in the shadow of the Vail volcano. Nice little lake in southern Utah. Has trout and largemouth bass. Largemouth bass that grow very large, probably feeding on the trout, and I think maybe some crappie and bluegill as well, primarily bluegill. It's a nice place to go fishing, but there are some nice bass in southern Utah. Not really, you know, you think Utah, you think trout, and that's certainly true, but especially southern Utah is producing some dandy largemouth bass fishing. And this one I caught on my favorite topwater, the old HEDDON tiny torpedo, and had to wrestle this big gal out of the weeds. A lot of weed growth in the summertime. This was July, and I remember this fishing trip. I only caught 4 fish, but they were all really, really nice fish. One 17-incher, one 18-incher or so. This one was 22. And I caught another one that was probably 20 that got off right at the boat. But what a great trip and a great catch. You know, I caught a lot of largemouth back in Missouri, but it's nice every once in a while to catch a big Mama Sal largemouth out west as well. There she is, nice and heavy, big old mouth on her. I don't know how heavy, probably 5-6 pounds or something like that. Anyway, there she goes to be caught again. All right, for fish number 3, we're going to go back to Newcastle Reservoir, and I'm shore fishing and hook into this massive smallmouth. At least in my book, it's a massive smallmouth. Mama Sal smallmouth spawning. I think this was June maybe, and anyway, had a big old belly on her. Now, when you fish these southern Utah lakes, there are the ones that have smallmouth are usually packed in there with smaller ones, 10, 11, 12, 13-inch fish, and usually a 15, 16, 17-inch fish is a dandy smallmouth for around here. But this was a beautiful 19-incher. One of the biggest smallmouth I've ever caught, and man, was it fun. Now, when you think of smallmouth fishing at Newcastle, or say Enterprise is another place to catch them, you usually think about fishing with crawdads or crayfish, whatever you want to call them, any kind of imitation baits. Of course, people use Ned rigs and any kind of crawdad looking lure. Well, I caught this on a lipless crankbait that I had hand painted to be looking like a golden shiner. One of the bait fish in Newcastle Reservoir is a golden shiner, and man, it smacked it. It's crazy. This was probably in maybe a foot of water or less when I reeled it in. So here she backs up nice and slow, and she's gone. What a beautiful fish. Thanks for playing, big gal. All right, for my last favorite fish of 2021, we're going to go to Minersville Reservoir, and this is the infamous wiper, also known as the hybrid bass. Let me tell you, if you've never targeted this fish, you are missing out. Pound for pound, these fish are the hardest fighting freshwater fish that I know of. And man, are they fun. And there are several lakes around southern Utah where you can catch them. So, by the way, I started this video about 2 minutes already into the fight. It took me about 10 minutes total to land the fish. Pulled me around the dam, the wind-blown dam, and man, was it a hoot. Total blast. 7 a.m. I believe this was October, and the lake was low because of the drought that we've been having, but I was once again dragging a flicker shad behind the boat, thinking about catching maybe some big trout, because there's also huge rainbow trout in Minersville Reservoir. And this thing turned the boat around really quick. So I just love them. These right now, these fish, these wipers are my favorite fish to catch. The thing about these wipers is you have to have your drag set right, because they will make runs, they will pull hard, they will break line just like that. You see, you got to be ready, holding on tight to your rod. They'll jerk a rod out of your hand. They are so fun to catch, and they're a challenge to catch as well. Now, you can lip them, but they do have small mouths, and they have pointy, sharp spines that can poke. And because they're heavy and they're strong, man, if you get a treble hook that's hooked to them and hooked to you, and they start flopping around, you're going to get a hook embedded in your hand real quick. So you got to be careful when you land these fish, but they are worth the effort. Wipers are well known to like stinky baits. In fact, I think the state record was caught out of Newcastle in 2021, probably at night on something like anchovies. They will take live bait as well, or lures. So you just have to give them a shot. But there it is. Look at that beautiful a mix between a white bass and a striped bass. You can tell the similarities there. They are so strong, so beautiful. What a great fish to catch. I call them the pit bull of freshwater fishing. So there you go. That's my 4. Thanks for watching.